My name is Annalise Christine. Welcome to my channel if you are new. Welcome back if you've seen one of my videos before. Today we're going to be doing my weekly reads episode 6. These are the books I finished from February 8th to February 15th. I did not finish anything February 8th, but February 9th I finished Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. This is the 4th book in the Twisted Tales series. It's a young adult Disney fairy tale reimagining, and in this book we are with Mulan. We find out everything happens like the movie until the battle with Shang Yu, where in the movie Mulan gets hurt, but in this story the twist is Shang gets hurt, and so Mulan feels very responsible for that and ends up going to and making a deal with King Yama to get Shang out of there. She has to go through Dayu, and this book takes us on the journey. And because the injury was what caused everyone to know that she's a girl for most of the book, people don't know. Mulan is definitely one of my favorite Disney movies, and I really enjoyed this book as well. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. I finished Small Town Swoon on February 10th. This is the 4th book in the Cherry Tree Harbor series. In this series, we've been following the Buckley siblings, and in this book, Dash is our main character. He's an actor, but wants to get more serious roles, and so is told he needs to get in touch with his emotions. He ends up coming back to Cherry Tree Harbor a little bit early to focus on that, and because of his brother's wedding. While he's there, he runs into Ari. Ari had the biggest crush on him when they were younger and tried to seduce him one day, and it did not go well. They are 3 years difference, which high school is a huge difference, but now that they're in their mid to late 20s, it's not as big a difference. And the moment Dash sees her, definitely has a crush on her, but Ari needs some convincing because of how rejected she was last time. I feel like it's one of these books that's definitely just a romance book, which I enjoyed, and I had a good time. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I finished We Used to Live Here on February 12th by Marcus Kliewer. This is an adult suspense paranormal book where we meet Eve. Eve is a people pleaser, and her and Charlie just bought this house. And so when a man and his wife and 3 kids knock on the door saying they used to live here, he would love to show his family his old house. She lets them in. Things get weird very quickly. Charlie does come back and tries to get this family out, but they end up having to stay because of weather, and then their children are hiding / disappearing. Eve goes to the neighbors and finds out some weird information, and so you're trying to figure out who is telling the truth and what is really going on. I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars because the ending just didn't 100% work for me. I will say I did listen to that book and I really enjoyed that. I'm finding I really enjoy audiobooks for the suspense genre. The ebook I finished on February 12th was Charming by Jade Linwood. This is a young adult kind of fairy tale retelling where we focus on Prince Charming. I am 72% done with Charming. It is about Prince Charming, and he has conned. We don't know if he is doing it on purpose or if he's cursed, but he has conned Rapunzel, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty. They have a little bit different names, but essentially their stories are very similar. But he has kind of gotten in with them and then taken their loot or treasure. And so the 3 women figure this out and decide we're going to go after him. This book I feel like is very low stakes. Like, it reminds me of John Tucker Must Die and Princess Bride kind of put together. And so I don't know if that's why I'm not loving it. I enjoy it. I just don't care. I am really intrigued at this point because Prince Charming has made a decision and one of the ladies has made a decision, and we're going to see how it all fleshes out in the last 25%. So I feel like this part could be really interesting, but I feel like there was a lot of buildup because we had to go back and see what Prince Charming had done to all 3 ladies, which took a little bit of time. And it's not a very long book either. So yeah, I will keep you updated on how I feel about this book. I like this book. It's definitely not one of my favorite fairy tale retelling books. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. The 5th book I finished on February 14th was I Promise by Robin Jones Gunn. This is the 3rd and final book in the Todd and Christy college years. So Christy's working really hard to finish up her classes. However, her and Todd got engaged in the last book, and so they are also trying to plan a wedding. As someone who got married in college, I definitely understand the stress of that, and then just having everyone's input in it as well, and trying to figure out what's going to be happening after college, putting 2 people's lives together. I got married while I was still in college and not my senior year, so it was a little bit different for me, but I definitely related to this book a lot. And you continue to see Todd and Christy grow together, which I really appreciate. I ended up giving that book 4 stars. The 6th and final book is Beloved. and I finished this on February 15th. I chose to read this book because it was on the Gilmore Girls book list. This is not a genre that I typically reach for, where we have historical fiction mixed with magical realism. I like those two genres separately. I'm finding I don't really enjoy them together. And so this book talks about Sethi. She was a slave and is since free, but in this book we see the effects of things that she endured as a slave. Even now that she's free, there are some paranormal things that happen in this book, which I didn't think was completely necessary to get the full impact of it, which is why I don't love those two genres together. But again, we're getting a look into Sethi's life. She jumps back into time and talks about the things that happened to her and others as she was a slave, and how she's living now and how it affects her, and nightmares she's having and things like that. I end up giving this book 4 stars. So those were the 6 books I finished from February, technically 9th through February 15th. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm working to get updated on this because I have a new format for these that I'm trying out that I'm really enjoying, but I didn't start this format until March, so we're gonna have to wait till March to see this new format and get your thoughts.